together.
Face the music.
Don't we just know each other?
Does sound really good.
Inside out.
Okay. Who's this?
And when it comes to being happy, you know, it's never been better.
You can hear those Telephone Capris.
Yeah, you can. I was thinking that.
We got to keep it fresh, that's all I'm talking about.
And that mic, that OG 67.
It's pretty Beatlesy. Well, it's just kind of everything, really.
Maybe it's been a while, but it's still true.
Yeah, it does sound really good.
Nobody else can love me the way that you do.
I'm talking to you, honey.
That's
right.
I should have thrown in more of the kind of...
Well, that's for when you do...
So fine.
That's for when you do the matinees
What's up, baby?
at Melvin's and Tom.
Yeah.
I know it.
Guys, you just want to sing along with me.
So won't you please
That's right.
dazzle me
You still do, honey.
when I'm strangers.
Still the one.
Still the one, honey.
Come along and dazzle me, baby.
She's not there, though.
Dazzle
No.
me now.
You're singing to, like, the wind. You're still the
Yeah.
one, honey. After all these years. Johnny, you're by yourself in your bedroom. Who are you talking to? You're like the gym guy.
Playing the Biltmore to like 30 people.
I mean, that's a good gig these days.
Yeah, I know.
No, it's like you're the gym guy. You're like singing this stuff at home to yourself. You're like,
Oh, I
Alex
see.
is like,
Oh.
who are you talking to?
I see now.
You're
the guy,
listening to your
guy
own
at the gym.
record. Alex, I'm working up here.
AirPods in.
Yeah,
So-
I'm working up here. I'm doing important work. I think you're just listening to your own music and kind of riffing as if you're
I don't
playing,
even
like,
think
a
I'm in the
matinee.
studio. It's like
No.
I'm just have my AirPods in downstairs, like prepping dinner. I'm like, what's up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's up?
Who are you talking to, Daddy?
Daddy. Dad. Johnny, you're scaring your daughter.
John, take
John.
the AirPods out. Ramona's scared.
Your mom, Ramona's scared. Who are you talking to? Yeah. That's right. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
You know what?
definitely. Yeah.
Does sound good though. Great mix. Great song, obviously. Great song demands a great mix. Great master.
I love that's like it's like yeah, great song, really good mix, great master.
Well, all I would say is I remember how good the song was. I know how good that song is. I also remember when you mixed it and it sounded really good, but it was sort of the mix mixed itself because it's, you know, like most songs like
Sure.
this should, you know? It's almost demixing, really. No way.
I actually had to
Actually, no way.
remix it. Actually, that one.
Demixing is more mixing. That's
Demixing-
Giles style. Demixing.
It's like well, you have to demix it and then you remix it.
It's a demix remix thing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Triggers.
I didn't demix this one, but
I mean, I'm
did,
triggered
yeah.
by it, but not. There's no
in
triggers.
a different way.
Yeah.
But yeah, the master though, yeah, good call. Like, I mean,
I remember hearing it pre and post and being
Mm-hmm.
like, "This guy gets it."
yeah. Well, shout out to Ian Sefcik,
Mm-hmm.
Magic Death Eye.
Yeah.
I think he's called.
Listen, if you know, you know. You know.
If
what
you
I
know,
mean?
you know. But he masters all my stuff, and he's this guy. Okay, this guy. He studied. It's like a sensei. He studied
Yep.
under the guy at Capitol who mastered Pet Sounds.
Yeah.
Okay.
A record
So-
you might have heard of.
Yeah. Like the band. I don't even
Just
like Capitol
everything.
stuff.
Just all of it.
And so
You know that building when you're in LA, you go and take a photo outside.
Yeah,
of?
exactly.
Yeah, that one.
He worked in there and learned from that guy. And they had, I saw a photo. It was like the room was the same in like 2008. It was like still looked like 1965. Like
broke.
the analog gear. Yeah. Like, and that's how they did it. And like they cut the lacquers in there, everything, right?
Yeah.
And then he left and just started mastering like from his house and he builds gear.
Well, it's the gear.
Yeah,
It's the gear that's the thing.
Yeah, and
you
so
mention Magic Death Eye around anyone in the mastering game.
Yeah,
and they're
I know.
immediately like, oh yeah.
And he I believe he mastered Friendship and Rock and Roll too,
yeah,
right?
because of this record.
Yeah.
Because I heard how good his mastering job was on your record. And I think, okay, first of all, welcome to Impossible Way of Life,
thank you.
your bi-weekly rock and roll podcast. Johnny Payne here has released a record called Dazzle Me that we're going to get into a little bit. It depends how Charlie Rose we're going to go. We're not decided yet. But I do think it's worth, because mastering, before we get into your record, deserves a shout out. Because it's a dark art that is the first one that AI has been trying to chip away at for about like 5 years now.
Yeah.
The internet's been trying to chip away at that. You hear a good master, this guy, very reasonable rates, by the way, too. We're not talking sterling rates here.
Yeah.
This guy's an artist.
Yeah,
so
he is.
please go on.
No, and he's the kind of guy. It started with me from Dan Horn.
Right.
Sent me to him for King of Cups because he was like, he's my guy.
My guy.
And
I like having a guy.
Yeah. So, and the reason this is in no way to toot my own horn because it was not great experiences, but I had Bernie Grunman master an album of mine, Greg Calby master an album of mine, some other guy who everyone knows
We've been there.
Yeah. Didn't speak to really. It was a very
impersonal.
Impersonal experience. This guy, I sent him King of Cups, and I remember him being like, "Do you just want to jump on a call with me and like tell me a bit about your record, what you and Dan did?" And I remember calling him and him being like, "Just been listening to your songs."
First class treatment.
Yeah, just like love your songwriting. Like this is really good. Like talking about the songs and stuff.
In an age where, like, in the age of atomization around creative relationships, it's amazing how simple it can be to just create relationships with these confidence-starved musicians like ourselves by just listening to the music.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And so with Dazzle Me, I told him, I said, look, this is your world. We did all of this on really old analog equipment.
Yeah.
So I said, I kind of need you to
Can
maybe
you demix it, kind of tune it up, modernize it, because we wanted to
I did say that. I was like, can you just kind of juice it up a bit for me? Because, and he was like, oh, for sure. So he did one pass, and it was like really juiced up. And I called him and I was like, it's really cool.
Juice.
And he was like, I knew you'd say that. He was like, I just got so excited doing it. I like went a bit too far. He's like, give me 2 hours. I'll dial it back. And he did. Pass 2. Perfect. What you hear.
Yeah.
So he's really good. And
I think I liked working with him. Another thing, very wholesome as far as I remember, was him and his partner do it together at times too, which I really like.
So. Yeah.
I thought that was a cool vibe. And the photo on their website, great website actually, kind of almost a GeoCities style website.
Yeah,
is them both.
Yeah, I mean, they seem like great people. I've never met him in person, but he also like it's like bucket list for me to own one of his Magic Death Eye, machines.
Well, you're not
limiters.
You're not going to get one of those.
It's a bit pricey.
You're not going to get.
He's
one of
building
those,
like a vocal, like a cool like one knob vocal chain thing that's like EQ and compression.
Like a Vox box, like a manly Vox box,
which seems really cool too. Obviously,
yeah, that's not going to happen.
No,
unless you. Who knows?
It's about $8,000 or something USD. So I'm gonna have to sell a lot of these fucking records.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I'm gonna have to sell a lot of these records to do that, to get there. But I mean, it's interesting always. Before we get into like more of the interlocutor kind of interview style thing, it's like always interesting, like getting into like it's funny because I can remember being in like it's a while ago. You recorded this quite a long time ago.
Yeah. 3 years ago, maybe.
I feel like I can remember being in. No, maybe that's King of Cups. That's King of Cups. But I remember being in an airport listening to King of Cups, like because you sent it. But yeah, this one it's a while ago, and it's so nice to. Music does a strange thing in time.
Yeah, it is.
You know.
Well, I just posted some photos because I have no photos of myself recording this album. None.
Yeah.
But I have photos of me building my house, which I was
Yeah.
doing at the exact same time. So I was like, that's the time period.
Well, that
I
was more
literally-
your look. You know, you're kind of like, it's like, you know, you're kind of more of your TikTok look is that kind of like jacked.
Well, I may
builder.
as well go for it because that's all I've got. And it really was like I would like take off the dungarees, as you call
Yeah.
them, and hop in the shower and get cleaned up and go out and work on it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, that was, so yeah, 3-4 years ago. But that's what happens because you build a house and you have a child and then it was just took a while to get it going, you know, get it out.
Well, you got some more in the tank too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Got some more in the tank. Well,
Yeah.
tonight,
So,
tonight, I got a little. I wrote a little.
oh, okay.
I kind of. I can't do his voice though.
Yeah, it's very
I can't
American.
I
It's
can't do
very
Charlie.
American.
It's like a Midwest kind of. It feels like to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I was thinking about his interview style. So see, you know, I've drafted some stuff, but you know.
Okay.
Because you know the thing is like you know this is. Well, actually, before we start, you were saying you said just before we press record that
Yeah.
you might be the first person here to face the music,
Face the music and
face
rank
the
my
music,
own album.
rank your own album. But
I'd like to do it. I think. I mean, talk about a earnest ranking. I'm not going to say masterclass until I've done it, but that was the line. But you know, that's
Face
a really
the
an
music.
exercise in earnest ranking when you have to face the music.
yeah, I think
Look in the mirror.
That's a difficult thing to do because it's almost like you want to do that with some retrospective hindsight.
I think I'm more than capable of
But
doing
it's
it. and
just
I'm-
come out, you know what I mean?
Oh, true. Yeah,
You
well,
know,
we
you
don't
don't
know
want- you
the
don't wanna, like-
legacy score. Legacy, we said this. Legacy gets a 5 if we don't know the tail yet. You know?
Right.
Because it's like we don't know whether it'll be a 1 or a 9 in 20 years.
Yeah, we
you know?
don't. We don't. Well, I mean, who knows what we'll be in 20 years?
Yeah, I mean,
You know, I'll be in a hot air balloon.
6 feet under. You know?
Maybe. Well, we'll be pretty old by then. I've been
Yeah.
going to the gym. I've been trying to get strong again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's it
so,
going?
Pretty good. Yeah. It works.
This is the
quick.
part will be in where AI on Spotify will label this section James's fitness journey.
back in the. Yeah, exactly. Maybe we should try and get it to say something like that if we just use some strange words.
I think all I'd have to do is be like, this section of the podcast is called James's fitness journey. Yeah.
No, it feels good. It's good to.
Yeah.
It's good to lift weights. You know.
Yeah. It's good for you.
It's good for you.
They
know.
say.
Well, I've got to get handsome for the summer. That's why.
That's
You
what
know.
everybody says.
Got to get the shows
Oh, yeah, the shows.
as well
yeah.
because we're playing a lot of shows and we're getting old and you'll be we'll be dead ducks out there.
Yeah.
If
you
there's
can't-
some 25-year-olds playing rock and roll out there and we're
I
not
know.
better than them and we look bloated and stuff,
Yeah,
it's like
you
may as well
gotta
just
get it. You got to keep it. stay
2-word
healthy.
review.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I plan on being competitive out there.
Yeah.
Go toe to toe with these guys.
You don't want to sweat too much.
Well, I don't. I'm very fair. You know, my
Mm-hmm.
mother's very fair skinned, ginger hair. Like I don't really have a sweat problem.
That's
know.
good.
But
Yeah.
that can
More
benefit
like-
you
Yeah.
on stage if you're like an Isaac Brock type. Like if you're in the kind
Yeah.
of
Sure.
slightly demented.
I was
place.
thinking more when it's like the sweats from the booze the night before
Oh.
and like that kind. You're like 40 and you're, you know.
that
it's kinda-
there's a few. I think. I mean, I said this. I'll say it right now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a harsh truth. Although things are changing. Massively. A good example that me and Dara have been talking about a lot is how there's no. In our generation, I think one of the things, this is completely different from what I was going to say, but it'll line it up nice. In our kind of era of rock and roll and music, the fetishization of the artist was something that was done because they often were a bit of a mystery. And, you know, there was a distance kept between the superstar, the rock and roll guy or whatever, and the audience. And that, like, kind of, that space was the thing, you know, I had sort of Strokes, for example, and you're like, who are these people? What's going on? You know?
Yeah.
The mystery and the intrigue, Dylan, you know, or something. How, like, now that isn't the way in which people interact with each other. Everything's very much personal connection, and like you want to be in their life. And they have to sell you their life, you know. So that like is, you know, and I get it. Like it's what we always wanted when we, you know, that's what we always wanted from Dylan, but we don't get. But you know, maybe if we got it, we wouldn't want it, you know. But that is now the way artists engage with their fans. It just is. So that's a sort of a seismic paradigm shift. The other one I was going to say is, growing up, it was like, you just can't get fat as a rock and roller.
I mean, you've stood by that for a long time now.
Yeah. You can go bald. The hairless thing's not an issue. But if you see like, you know, if you see a band from the 80s or 90s playing and they're looking trim, you kind of believe it still.
In rock and roll, especially.
Yeah.
If you've gone full Piazza, kind of like a nice suit, Tony Soprano, sort of a turtleneck, and you're just out there, hey, I'm older now, and you don't know enough.
Fine.
You don't have a guitar, you just got a mic, and you're kind of like, you know, maybe like a Van Morrison.
Yeah,
even
for
like,
sure. That's fine.
But he's pretty Piazza. He can Piazza.
He can do whatever he wants with a voice like that. You take that voice in there.
Moondance is probably like a Piazza anthem.
It's definitely probably on like a playlist,
Piazza playlist.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, I've always thought that like with rock and roll, but I do think that that's changing. I think that that's another thing that's changing. I don't think it matters, but I think like looking good, like maybe it's just, you know what? Maybe it's more about like the fit of the clothes even. It's like if you're still wearing the look from the 80s, 90s, and you can't fit in it anymore. And that's what I'm dealing with. I've got to wear like the Beatle boots and the skinny jeans and like a kind of tight, like, I'm trying to look like I'm in Cheap Trick half the time. I got to kind of stay lean.
I mean, you can add some variation to it though. You know, you can still do the rock and roll clothes, but couple little tricks to make them fit, look better.
Loose rock and roll?
Not really the pants, but like you don't want like, you know, you don't have to do like maybe if when you were 21 you did the jeans with like the tight t-shirt, you know, you can do a different kind of shirt with the tight jeans and like accessorize.
I mean, I could switch it up and go like, I mean, you're obviously a very svelte man, but you know, like I could loosen it up with a slack and stuff, and like that's Jimmy Page, like a Jimmy Page Nebworth look, maybe, but
yeah, I mean, summer festival vibe too. There's a lot of options. You can go slightly. I mean, for your band though, I see what you're saying. Like, I would have the option to do like some cabana wear kind of stuff if I were playing. But I guess you guys are like, you want to present the rock and roll front,
falls to the wall.
Yeah. So, but you know what's nice? You know what I would suggest for you is like a couple of nice polos. You know, like we're short sleeve, like polo here with the collar, and then it's kind of like a sort of a Ramones, that with jeans kind of vibe.
Polo just feels a little like a PK kind of polo shirt,
like a David Byrne kind of first album vibe.
No, because that's
with the jeans.
It isn't new wave David Byrne really. I think it's like sticking to the aesthetic. You have to look like the music you're playing. You do a really good job of that.
Yeah, but I think you guys, it's angular. Not, you know, there's a certain kind of
it's not smart though. It's not smart. It's not cerebral.
Well, you don't have to have the Ralph Lauren polo. You get like an alternate. It's just like a classic look, you know, versus a T-shirt.
I've thought about getting a leather waistcoat. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that's kind of cool. I mean, if you're talking, you want to go straight up rock, just call Luke. Ask him what to wear.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean,
but
like some studded
a big
stuff.
part of it, a windswept look.
Studded belt, that kind of thing.
You can't sell anything if you don't look the part.
Yeah, I know.
You got to dress like the music. You've always done a fantastic job of that.
Well, thank you.
Choreographing a look and a mood.
Think you can, I think you guys have a lot of different kinds of music.
Not the way we present it at the moment. It's
At the
full
moment,
power
no, okay.
pop.
It's full power pop. Okay.
It's
well,
full
power
power
pop
pop.
though. I mean, that's what I'm talking about with the polo. Like, I'm gonna find, like, I'm gonna find some stuff. I'll send it to you later because there's some looks that I'm specifically thinking of raspberries, like where it's kind of like it's almost like thrift store prep but rock,
Right, yeah.
and it's like it's very 70s.
70s, yeah.
Big
exactly.
Star, they do
that's
it with
kind of
like.
post-hippie.
Yeah, Big Star's a little post-hippie, but it's like even like Chilton with like, he'll do like a sweater on stage with jeans.
See, Big Star, I'm looking at Big Star, like, that's kind of my vibe already, though. Like,
Yeah.
the shirt, the tight white shirt, like, with a 70s collar.
Yeah.
That was like, I had 3 shirts on the tour, and it was very much like, I'm not wearing, like, these guys look like too hot. They're in, like, corduroy suits.
Well, if you want to really commit,
Yeah.
you wear the suit on stage in the heat.
Yeah, of course.
What are the Beatles doing? Take a look at James Brown in like the 70s.
I mean, the Raspberries look is pretty weird when they're like all in the same. Like the Raspberries as a band is exactly the look we're going for. I don't see a single polo shirt here.
Well, I'm thinking more. I think like kind of.
One of them's going to flares and a really high waisted flare.
Yeah, they have suit. I guess they wear suits and things.
This is good. Like it's that era. Well, that guy looks good.
Yeah.
I could wear it. That's a really funny look here. That's almost pivoting towards hair metal on this one I'm looking at. Oh, see, here we go. I've got a photo of Eric Carmen wearing just he's jacked, and he's just wearing a leather waistcoat with nothing underneath.
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy, yeah. I mean, then when you look at a photo of the Raspberries up, the lemon twigs come up, which makes sense because they're doing it.
Yeah, I guess what I'm talking about is a bit later 70s when it gets a little bit more kind of like the feelies and things like that.
Yeah, I think
And
that's
like-
more it's cool. It's cool, guy.
I guess
Like,
so.
It's like
more like
we're not rocking
art
anymore.
rock and roll.
Art, it's art rock.
Art rock and roll versus
I don't want to
just
be
straight up
confused
rock.
for those art rock.
You're going Thin Lizzy is what we're talking about here.
It's not that sexed up.
Not
No, I
that
think
sexy.
I think it's like Badfinger. It's not
Okay.
a good look. Like it's not
Right.
a good look. It's intentionally not a good look. Brandon wears the sweaters.
Yeah, he does the sweaters.
I
yeah.
have the high Hofner, like
Yeah.
you know, Levi's. I wear
You know what would look
Levi's.
great with you, especially if you're playing
Please
that
tell me.
Hofner, a nice tan suit with like a kind of a with some boots or something, like a light brown suit, full suit. With
It might
the Hofner.
wash me out because I'm quite fair.
I think you'd look good with the hair, and then like a 70s
Like the
collar
Barack
shirt
Obama
under.
tan suit.
No, like a cool McCartney in India or something.
Oh, kind of almost like a muslin, like a thin linen.
Thin suit, yeah, up there with the Hofner and like some
Yeah.
a heel, like a Cuban
yeah,
heel.
Yeah, Cuban heel would be nice.
Yeah.
Again, though, we're talking about Johnny Payne here again, which is why we're here. So
Okay.
tonight, a conversation with Johnny Payne, a songwriter whose work has quietly traced the path through melody, memory, and the enduring pull of classic pop traditions. Payne has built a body of solo work defined by craft, restraint, and a deep affection for the emotional architecture of 90s, 60s, and 70s pop songwriting and, caveat, fashion, based on what we're talking about.
Nice.
His new album, Dazzle Me, continues on that trajectory. So tonight we talk with him about Dazzle Me, about longevity, about influences that never leave you, and about what it means to keep making thoughtful, melodic music in a restless age.
Wow.
Welcome
Well
to the
done.
show, Johnny Payne.
Thank you for having me, Charlie.
So let's get straight to it here. Let's talk about the new album. So when you began this record, what do you feel like you had left to say?
No, I'm going to play along here.
Yeah, play along. Listen, you're not going to get a more earnest interview than this on this record cycle, let me tell you.
100%. Most of the ones I've done now, so far just AI.
I know.
Yeah, what did I have left to say? I mean, not much, but that's kind of the point, I think, is what I would say. It's like I talked about this before, I think, with somebody else, but I was really trying to say a lot on a lot of the other albums and the other tunes, and I think it was time for me to simplify everything, and I feel I'm saying more than ever by saying less. Let's put it that way. You know what I mean? Just talking about me, man, my life. I had a good shit today, you know, or I love you, Alex, or whatever, you know. That's all it is.
So speaking to kind of more classical interpretations of songwriting, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the best... there's no statements on this that are relating to current events or even on King of Cups. I think living in Vancouver and stuff, I talk a lot about the city, the oppression of the city on me, the way it's changed, all this stuff. But on this, I think it was actually quite a bit more difficult, I found, to write the lyrics because I wanted it to be like more universal truths that people can kind of just hear a line and be like, oh, this is like how I feel about my partner or where I live. Mm-hmm. Because that's the stuff that when I hear it in the car driving around or listening to music, that just cripples me when I hear a great line from a song that's maybe from 100 years ago or something, and I'll be like, it's amazing that still rings true today. So
what do you think that those classic songs that you're talking about understand about melody and emotion that we don't, maybe?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think that it's probably people being too into themselves or something is the problem, maybe more of the problem now with songs not being quite as timeless. That a lot of the music I'm talking about is 9-to-5 songwriters that were just writing songs for other people or for films or musicals or things that they had to come up with something that everybody was going to relate to. And I think there's a workman-like thing to it that's being lost. That maybe people
kind of a troubadour.
Yeah, there's a thing about clocking in and just trying to actually write a great song versus, you know, just writing about yourself constantly. Which obviously this record is about myself, but you know, you want people to be able to interpret it for their own life or something. I don't really know what I'm saying here.
Well, I think it's like trying to find a way to engage with the spirit and the ghosts of those songwriters and their experience and journey in time in their era, like as it obviously relates to you as a fan of music.
Yeah.
You know, trying to kind of understand what they, like we talked about before, the sort of fetishization of these people, like what was the conditions in which they were able to write these songs, I suppose.
Yeah, I think
because you seem quite fascinated by that. Well, you are clearly fascinated by that era and those people, almost kind of singularly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I try to just grab a hold of any of the magic of that really old stuff that I can, because to me, we talk a lot about the Beatles and Bob Dylan and everything, but to me, and I'm not even saying my record sounds even remotely like this, but perhaps there's a bit of a through line that those old songs, those old standards, and even Disney songs and those old Brill Building, you know, Hoagie Carmichael and Irving Berlin and those people that were writing songs back then, to me, that's the golden age. Mm-hmm. Like that blows any other songs out of the water, only in that I don't fully understand how that's done or how they did that. And I just think that there's a professionalism there to the songwriting that I just try to listen to it as much as I can and see if it can seep in a little bit, because it's totally magical to me, that stuff.
Do you think there's something timeless about the simplicity of that music?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Yeah. And the messages are almost, they boggle your mind how simple they are and profound. Like a song like Stardust, that is essentially a comparison between love and music, and the song is just it has all these examples. Sometimes I wonder why I spend the lonely nights dreaming of a song. The melody haunts my reverie, and I'm once again with you when our love was new and each kiss an inspiration. Now my consolation is in the stardust of a song. And it's like it's just such a simple idea that to weave music and a relationship together as like a relationship being the duration of a song and a melody, and how the emotions go up and down. But I don't know, I've never heard anything like that since. Anybody really write a song like that?
I'm stepping out of Charlie Rose for a second and going back to being James Younger. Do you think that do you think like Neil Young is to blame a bit for not Neil Young, but that kind of confessional singer-songwriter, like talking about themselves quite like universally, their experiences? Like I think someone like Heart of Gold, where it's like, he's searching for a heart of gold. It's very universal. And then in the verses, he's been to Hollywood, Redwood. He's like, it's him, he's on the journey. And that kind of confessional songwriting of the singer-songwriter, which didn't really exist in the same way maybe prior, or certainly wasn't as successful as like the brill-building version of writing. Do you think we're kind of condemned in a way to sort of like live past that? So we end up kind of like we approach the sort of the simple like this timeless thing you're talking about. That stuff, like they're out of time. Those songs, they feel ancient.
Yeah.
To write like a 3-minute long.
You don't even know who
tune.
wrote them. You know what I mean? Like nobody knows who wrote all those old songs. And it's an amazing thing. I think when the ego got involved, you're right. That's a big problem. And I think the Beatles are probably the most to blame.
Beatles.
They were the first ones to write their own tunes and then make them. And then Dylan starts making them about himself.
Yeah.
And then the Beatles are like, oh, we'll make them about ourselves too, and about people.
It's the sort of neoliberal Jesus types.
Yeah, and then because even
they're
Buddy Holly,
chords.
Even Buddy Holly and things that came before, Shop Around,
it's about the
Rock.
scene.
Yeah, it's on the scene. It's like Smokey'd write a song and be like, okay, am I gonna do this, or like, do you want to do it, Diana, or who wants to?
Yeah.
We can all do it. My mama told me you better shop around. It all works. These are classics. They're standards, right? And I love standards. But my point being,
a lot of
where
Motown,
you're going,
it feels like that weirdly.
Yeah, a lot of Motown is like that. They continued that tradition, I think,
until Marvin,
until what's going on essentially. Yeah. But what I would say is, and this is interesting because it brings it all the way back around for me to what you were saying earlier, which is that the confessional songwriting movement of the late 60s, early 70s is when it all really explodes in this way. And it's mixing with drugs, and it's mixing with a lot of money. And people
Asylum
making a whole lot of money selling millions of records about
selling identity, selling
alone with a
identities.
guitar, right? And selling themselves. And then from there, now we're getting to what you were talking about earlier, which is just like this online reflection of that, and you're selling somebody a story about you,
Yeah.
But I do believe that the songwriting suffered from that. I do. I think that that when you could write a song that could be done like, whatever it might be, anything like Fly Me to the Moon or
Up
something.
on the Roof.
Yeah, sure. And Sinatra can do a version. Aretha Franklin can do a version. Ella Fitzgerald, Billie Holiday, whoever's around, And it's going to be great and it's going to be interpreted. I think that those songs are the strongest songs because of that. Doesn't mean I like them necessarily more, but if I'm talking about craft and musically as well, like the amount of passing chords and things that are going on in them. I mean, Jonathan, when we were down recording, he said, I think that's what's gone. That's bad now. That people have lost those great passing chords in between and things. That now it's like, you just kind of
G, E minor,
just G,
E minor. G. We love peace.
Yeah.
So, what do you? Keeping on this, so what do you understand about songs now that you didn't when you started? Because you've been doing it for so long. Or do you think your voice is just more confident? You're more confident in your convictions around what songs are.
Yeah, I think so. I think I just understand more about what my songs are like or something and how to sing them, or it's more just instinctual. I don't really know, like we talk about all the time, whether people change all that much, but I think that my instincts to remove a lyric here or add something here, add a part here, take a part away here are just a lot better, stronger, But I think that you just understand the world more when you get older. It's not about music or understanding songs more. I just understand life more. When I listen to my old songs, sometimes I get sad because I really hear a kid who's searching, really looking for answers in music a lot. And sometimes the tension of that is really cool and creates like an angsty, punky thing in the early Shiloh stuff. And I'm confused about girls and why they don't love me or why they do or whatever it is. And I just hear a lot of confusion versus a lot more confidence now, like you say.
Are you trying to find peace in your music? Yeah,
and you get more peaceful as you get older. You just do. Your life... if you're not, then I feel for you if you as you age and get to be 40 and you're struggling more than you did as a younger person, because I think the idea is that you settle down and accept your surroundings.
Do you think in a more practical sense you're writing differently now than you did? Like the actual process of writing is different to how it was, or has it stayed the same?
No, it changed.
Tell me about it.
It changed about 5 years ago when I started accepting that that the songs don't come from me. It started changing and getting better.
I need to know more about this.
It happened. It was really, it sounds corny or whatever, but it's really true.
It's the Dylan 60 Minutes thing.
Yeah, and reading that Dylan book too, and a lot of, and starting to believe that idea, which before it was always me with the pen and the paper just grinding it out, like this could be better, and not really stepping away. And so I started to just let the things come and write a bit, get an idea, and then leave the piano, leave the guitar, whatever, do something else, and then let it be bored and let my brain finish them. And that just started working for me.
So that's your process.
Now that's what I do, and I think the songs are better now.
You write on piano?
Half and half. Half and half, I'd say. Acoustic or piano.
What was it like in the Shilohs?
Writing songs?
Yeah, like as opposed to now, like being in a band versus...
Yeah, that was more like writing at home on the guitar, coming up with something, because we had practice every Wednesday, and it was, nobody else was
just
really...
Just once a week, eh? Okay, interesting.
Maybe twice back then, I don't remember. But and nobody else was coming up with too many songs. Like Mike and Dan didn't have that many, so I always felt this pressure to come up with something. And so it was more like that. It was more like come up with anything and then bring it in and we'd jam for a while and then record the jam and then I'd go home and listen back, and it was a lot more practical, and which I think is funny because probably people have the opposite, I would think, in their lives. Like probably they start really being out and songs coming to them all, like Dylan, and then they get older and they're like, I really need to work on this, and figure out how to do it. It's been the total opposite for me. It was so much harder when I was younger to write. What
was it that drove you to do it then when you were younger?
Just wanted to be in a band. I wanted to be a rock and roller. Honestly, it was a lot of just fantasizing the life, like I knew I loved music. I was obsessed with it, but I really wanted that to be my life. Like there was a drive that didn't come. It was less of an artistic drive, I would say, than it is now, and more of a drive to just to get to that life that I wanted. And it was like the ways and means were like all the records I liked, and okay, what did these guys do and how did they do it, and then we'll do that. We'll do a photo shoot that looks a bit like that, or we'll do this, which looking back is like just like obviously what a kid would do or something. But
I never got that from your career arc, really. I mean, or you were just picking cool stuff maybe that I didn't know as well too.
I don't mean to say that there wasn't artistry there or anything like that, but my drive, if I'm being totally honest with you and people listening, and this is kind of cracking me open now in a bit, but my drive at the age of 23, 24, I would say was more like I want to get signed. I want to get to the point where I can then make the records that I always wanted to make and do that artistic thing. I was not like, like a fully formed artist or something at that age at all.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, I also think that like the material conditions of making music 20 years ago were kind of like, that was almost, unless you were just like a freak, like zeitgeist artist, which is very, very rare and hard to come by. Like there was a practical way in which you'd be able to make music, because you didn't make it at home on your computer then. You needed to go into studios. You needed to tour, and that involved the machinery of the music industry to be able to do that. Plus, you'd see people who were doing it and want to be like them. I mean, that was my experience.
Yeah, and I cared. I can be honest now but I cared a lot about being famous at that age.
Sure.
I thought a lot. This is how delusional I was, man. I used to measure up my age and success to the Beatles and stuff. I used to be like, okay, Please Please Me came out when John was 23, so I should have my first record out, and I have this much time to be, and I used to think about things in terms of that, which I think it can drive you in certain aspects, but it can also hold you back a bit from a truth that you're trying to find. And that's what I mean when I listen to some of that stuff. And it really changed for me, I would say, around Tender Regions, the third Shiloh's record, where when I listen now, I think, oh, there he is. Like, it's getting good. Because the band was breaking up and I didn't really know how to handle that. And all of a sudden I was faced with a sort of a sad reality in my life that it didn't happen. And I had to face that hard truth, and then all of a sudden, I guess a little bit of a new artist was born where I didn't know what to do, so I stopped caring about measuring up the timeline and where I was at, and just was like, okay, well, I actually think I do want to say something, so
yeah,
I started saying it, I think, around then.
So, focusing in on Dazzle Me.
Yeah.
And taking into account what we've talked about, what do you think this album, in that search for the real Johnny Payne, what do you think this album allowed you to do that you hadn't done before on your previous solo records?
Well, I think for less of a philosophical answer, what I'd like to say is that because of you, mainly, I learned to record music, And what I really love about it is that during the pandemic, I with multiple calls to you every day, I started learning how to chip away and how to record and how to produce myself. And I think that that's what really changed on this one, is having a little bit more control over what it would, for better or for worse, over what's coming out, to the point that I was really able to create a record that, to me, I deem perfect in terms of what was in my head and what came out. Whether people like it or not is up to them, but when I listen to this record, it is exactly how I wanted it to sound. So that was exciting and different to me, to be able to really, go through it with a fine-tooth comb and get it there. Whereas other times, due to limitations and studio time and whatever, you sort of have to accept what you get a bit more, I find.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting that it's brave that there's a final statement, that you can kind of know when it's done, is kind of the hardest thing, I think.
I mean, it was hard on this one because you had that control, but there was a point that it was like, okay, it's done. Has to be. There's not much else I could do.
Do you feel like your music is outside of the current musical conversation, or do you think it's just independent from it?
I don't know, man. That's hard. It feels that way sometimes when it doesn't feel like there's too much going on, or that I don't feel like I belong to a community, but I don't think so. I think I used to feel that way a lot more. And I think now with heritage revivalism,
yes,
I feel like I have contemporaries again, where I didn't before. I feel like, thanks to Sam and Max and people like this, I do feel like my music belongs in that atmosphere a bit. I feel like we could share a bill or be on the same radio show or playlist or something, and it would kind of work. Yeah. But I do feel isolated in a way.
Do you think it's a responsibility of an artist to create that community, not just hope that it comes to them?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I think I've probably not done a great job of that. But except through the podcast.
Yeah, it's a strange thing. I'll go back to being James Younger again.
Yeah.
The podcast is like, I would say, made me recognize that, and it's ironic that music's not been the thing that's done that, because there's obviously in my band there's been community because we play a lot and there's people out there, but it's never really been my community. A lot of it was like entrenched before I started playing with them, and it's like that kind of CBC kind of Radio 3 kind of world of bands, like very CanCon, some really nice people, but I've always felt a little bit of an outsider because it, like Yukon Blonde kind of created that community before I played with them on the first 2 records, not on the last 15 or whatever, and also that thing's kind of aged. Everyone's aging out of it, but I think it's very ironic that, like, through the podcast, through speaking as opposed to playing, I've found a way to feel so much more positive and optimistic about, and actually just like legitimately just found way more music than I have since I was like in my mid-20s.
I agree. I don't even want to know what where I'd be in terms of community or even what I've been. I mean, look at the record we made with Jonathan too. Like all this stuff has come because of our podcast, and it's been a wonder. I mean, the reason we're doing this today is because I said to you, like, we said let's do an episode on Dazzle Me because they're all my friends, and it would just be fun to focus in on it for one episode, and it has been. Thank you for that.
Do you think that writing songs now in the way that you're talking about helps you understand things that you wouldn't have, like the way you're talking about yourself versus like past Johnny? Do you think you can understand like yourself intrinsically through the legacy of the music that you leave behind through time?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I can heal anything in my mind or body with songwriting. it's like nothing else in my life. And it doesn't matter how old you get, and I should do it more for this reason. But when I write a song or I get an idea or something clicks or a lyric comes to me, it always helps me to understand more about myself, about my past, about where I'm living now. And it just makes me feel so electrified. And, it's almost like when you're the evangelist, the kind of like you just get touched by somebody, and I feel
Sounds
healed.
like you started to think there is a kind of higher power involved in the...
I think so. I think maybe, yeah.
I'm
not a religious person, but...
I'll be James Younger again for a second. I was Charlie Rose there for a second again.
Yeah.
I'll be James Younger again. I kind of like... There's this article that Cormac McCarthy wrote years ago. You can find it on the internet. It's called The Kakule Problem. And it's about this idea of... I think it's really, really amazing. I have it, actually. It's always kicking about. I always keep it nearby. Maybe it's under here. Like, literally, I think it's here. Yeah, it's here. And it's essentially an article. It's like cultural linguistics, but it's actually quite simple. And it's about the idea of like where language came from. And we all know that feeling of like, to summarize it, I suppose, like we all know that feeling of like when you can't remember something, but you know it's in your brain.
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah.
or and you're like, oh, I need to remember it, and then suddenly, like maybe it's like 2 hours later, you're like, there it is. It was Smokey Robinson. Like that was what we were. Oh yeah, okay. Or like even just in a more kind of sort of like meaningful way, like sleeping on a problem, something like that, and it resolving itself or the answer coming to you.
Yeah.
And I think you can apply this stuff to creativity, and I try to because it's a really optimistic, nice idea.
Totally.
That the unconscious mind is so much older than the sort of the conscious like mind that uses language. Language is so much newer. The idea of language, of arranging your thoughts in language, is very new compared to this. I don't even know how old we are as a being, but as old as life has got so much on us in terms of its knowledge. And, maybe it thinks in a sort of pre-linguistic way, but it's in our brain. And it makes so much sense to trust that part of your brain.
If it even is your brain. I mean,
sure.
I think that's kind of what I mean is I always used my brain a lot before. And now I feel like I'm using it less and it's better. And you feel things more. I mean, but to talk about what you said about like understanding your past and stuff, like there's a song I know that on the new record we did, Vancouver, that I wrote, that was one that really came to me in that way. Like it just hit me. And it was amazing because I wrote it and I sang it. And then right away I was like, I'm good with my whole life in Vancouver. Like the way, because I was able to get that out of my system. Any shit that I went through back then, I feel like I now have a way to explain it to myself or something.
And presumably those feelings were inside you, and the fact that you were able to kind of find the language to understand them yourself was very...
Yeah, it's like when you have a breakthrough at therapy or something.
Yeah.
And you're like, wow. But instead of talking to a therapist, this is why I think music and art, we're all so lucky who make it, because we get to communicate with that higher power, whatever it is, or creativity through your instruments or your voice or whatever. And it's like having that breakthrough, and then you're like, wow, I feel better. And I go outside and skip around. I'm so happy.
Could it also be trusting, I guess there's so many different words for it, like just trusting your instincts more than you used to?
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe not worrying about the consequences quite as much.
Yeah.
Like, but who are you making the record for now?
Yeah. Is that a question?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm making it a lot more for I mean, I still make it for me, but that's a protective thing.
But did you used to make it for yourself? Because it sounds like in
No.
the past you weren't making it for yourself.
No, but I mean, like, I'm talking like King of Cups and
Right,
all that.
yeah, your
I
solo
had to
stuff.
at some point start making it for myself to protect myself because I didn't know what was going to happen with it, if anything. So you have to be happy and celebrate your own work, I
Yeah.
feel like.
Yeah.
Whereas before,
Or have really good people around you.
yeah, but
keep
now
you kind of
I do
pumped
make it
up.
more for others. I write more songs about people now that are in my life who I love, rather than, for Alex a lot. I make the music a lot for Alex because there's a lot of love songs about her now, and she's my muse in so many ways. She's here with me through the good and bad of songwriting and the recording process, and I lean heavily on her. And even like the country record we did, like she's been telling me for 10 years she wanted me to make a twangy album.
Yeah.
And I've never left my mind because I'm like, I got to do that for her,
Yeah.
if that's what she thinks would be good. So,
Well, she might think it's the best thing for you. That's often how like partnerships work.
yeah, maybe.
They want to
But
see
yeah,
you thrive.
so definitely a lot more for her, and then probably as the years go on for my daughter too.
We're both in our 40s now.
Mm-hmm.
Do you still feel like you're discovering yourself as a songwriter?
Oh yeah, big time. Probably more now, I would say. Yeah.
Why more now?
Because I've been surprised at the stuff coming out of me we're almost talking more about the new record that you and I made, but I was terrified to do that a bit because as a lot of songwriters I think do, I thought maybe I was washed up. Dazzle Me was 3-4 years ago.
Right.
I was like, now I have this opportunity to go record with this great guy in this great studio, and I was scared. And that I wouldn't have any more good stuff. And I believe that what came out of me were some of the best songs I ever wrote. And it came easily enough that I was like, oh, wow, maybe I am at a new place, a new chapter, and that new things are starting to come to the surface that are positive.
Is it important to involve risk-taking in the creative journey?
Yeah. Really, it really is.
And then
one thing I'll say about myself, and just because we're doing an episode about me, kind of, is that.
Of course.
Thanks, man. Is that I am proud that I take a lot of risks. That I don't ever say no to most things. Like if somebody asks me to do something, or to get up on stage, or to write a bunch of songs and go down to California and make a record with people I've never played with, even though I feel really scared, I usually always try to find a way to do it, and I do think that that's good for you to face your fears.
But isn't that also speaking to what you were talking about very much earlier on about just like the clock in, clock out mentality?
Yeah.
Like, what are you going to do if you don't do it?
Well,
sit around wishing you were doing it.
Yeah, and it's not like a fear. I guess it's more like you get the jitters, and you. But maybe I let myself get those so that I can. Maybe they help me. They probably do.
I think that deadlines help.
Yeah, deadlines help,
and it's another. That's more work of the community, whether it's just your partner or your close friends, or whether it's something bigger. It's like people keeping you on track and not. Because there's so many great musicians and artists that I can think of that just like I'm waiting for them. I mean, we know them personally. I'm waiting for them to make a record.
Yeah,
I want to hear them, and they're not going to do it for whatever reason.
No,
Maybe,
I know.
Yeah,
I know. I also I'm going to speed rank this.
Oh, you're going to do it?
I'm going to speed rank it. But
Okay.
before I do, I also want to say that I'm fully aware that everything we've talked about is my process.
Yeah.
And some other people write in times of pain and
course,
sadness, and I've never been like that,
No.
So this is just the way it works for me, but I don't know. I certainly don't have the answers.
Listen, this isn't a masterclass. This is a Charlie Rose style interview.
100%. Okay, here we go. I'm going to speed rank Dazzle Me. First time ever.
Okay, here we go.
Are you okay with that?
Yeah, let's do it.
The hangability. It's pretty good.
high. It's pretty
Yeah,
high.
I think
I'd
it's
say like
nice.
8 at least. Probably.
Okay.
I mean, it's hard for me because I'm going to just say 10 to all of them.
No,
but
don't. But I was going to say 7.
No, I think
But-
8. No, because it's like it's got that like it's mixed in a way. There's no lead drums. There's no lead kick drum. It's all pretty like it's again like you say. There's no real pain in it, which is nice for a hang. The top is
It's chill.
It's chill.
It's
It's
chill.
chill, but it's like, you could slow dance to a couple of songs.
Yeah.
I mean, it speaks to the stuff that you were influenced by, which you hear more on this record than you've ever done before, which is a lot of like R&B, soul, and 60s girl group Motown stuff
Yes.
too, like which you
Thank you
haven't
for saying that.
really put, like you maybe through just developing as an art. It's like they're all there, and that imbues a feeling in it which is quite hangable, quite frankly, because that's some of the most hangable music of all time.
Yeah, and a lot less double tracking and things like that. Even though it's still Beatlesy, it's probably my least Beatlesy.
It's not as Beatlesy. Yeah.
Even though it is Beatlesy. Yes, thanks.
There's
okay,
a couple
8.
of Beatlesy things in it.
Oh, for sure. Can't get rid of that. Technical, not really my vibe.
It's never been. Some
Although
of the
it
string
is like I
arrangements
do
and the
craft
vocal
it.
arrangements, yeah.
I do craft it a bit.
I mean, whatever.
A 6,
Whatever
5.
you want, man.
Go 6. I'm
Say
not a
anything.
chopsman. Natural.
I mean, it's the way you expressed how you wrote it and the reasons you wrote it. You must give it quite a high score on Natch.
I'll give it 7.
I mean, you're being humble, but that's probably the right way to do it.
I think that's right. Live performance, dude. I'm like Nilsson.
0.
It's 1. I've done nothing. I got a couple shows coming up.
Well, I
but-
mean, you know what this is? This is more of like you know what this actually is? It's less than of a speed
Oh
round.
no, this is the album. Never mind.
No, but it's kind of but it's like it's interesting because you know what we're learning about this.
What?
This is more like in facing the music. You're like, what's the word? It's like a review. It's like a managerial review. It's like, let's see where you're at and what you can work on.
Yeah, it's true.
So like you just faced it. You're like, I gotta work on that bit.
I got to work on this. It does help you. It does help you.
So like it's more just like a peer-to-peer review, and it's just like you're like, okay, we've assessed the live performance is something you need
survey
to work on. Yeah,
of sorts.
It's a focus group.
And actually, if we're talking about the record itself, live performance is still low because I did it all myself,
Yeah,
and
you
I'm just
played
like
it all
doing
yourself.
takes. There's no band.
No.
So it's like that's not a good live performance. It's like some of this shit I did like 30 takes of like a solo, you know?
Yeah.
It's like I'm going to go like 3, I think.
I don't
Sex
think the
appeal
cumulative score matters.
as much. Well,
It's more about like knowing what to work on. And listen, we're getting into showbiz row here. We've talked about this. You cannot like think this is a lark.
Oh, no.
Lark, you know.
No,
this
I
is,
don't.
This is what separates the James Youngers and the Johnny Paynes from the Father John Misty's is showbiz row.
Yeah, I'm also at a critical point here in these categories.
Yes, you
at
are.
my age.
Yeah.
And it's like you got to
Yeah.
figure it out, you
Yeah.
know? Well, I do know that my friend's mom thought the cover was sexy. So whatever.
Like I would say that this is the last time you're going to be able to do the drunk, washed up.
It's it. Well, that was the
cabaret
point.
singer.
That
This
was
is the
the point.
last time because now you're going to have to start looking youthful.
Yeah, that was the point, was
Yeah.
that it would be the last time.
Because if you continue this look into your 40s, it's like you actually are that person.
You are that person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think some of the songs are kind of sexy.
I was
like
yeah, they are
Dazzle Me.
definitely. Dazzle Me is very sexy.
Real Magic's kind of got a little bit of a slinky.
Real Magic's got more of a kind of Frankie
Sleazy.
Valley kind of
Sleazy.
Yeah, it's sleazy. Yeah, there's some nice stuff on it. You know,
Well, I don't know. 5, 6.
I think
it's
5,
not-
knowing that
I'll
you
work
know,
on that.
We're working. I mean, my band would get. I mean, 2 or something.
Fashion,
Yeah, it's good. It's fashionable.
7.
Yeah, it's a fashionable vibe. You know.
I think I'm kind of a sort of a George Harrison, kind of a middle. I don't think I'll get too business acumen. Ooh, no good. I got to work on this one.
Okay.
I've been trying, probably 1 or 2. I'd
Yeah,
say.
maybe.
Yeah. Okay. It's tough out there.
It's very tough, yeah.
So I'll give myself a 2 just for trying.
Boots on the ground. It's the only way I understand it.
Yeah, you got to get out
It's
there.
just all I know.
Yeah,
It's
you gotta
probably,
get out there.
who knows if it makes a difference.
The album itself is not very businessy at all. I'm going to go 1.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, you collabed with my
self-release.
band.
Yeah. Okay, I'll give it a 2 because of the Yukon Blanc
You
collab.
collabed with my band. I feel like you could have got some bigger collabs. Maybe that would have kind of boosted it.
Yeah. Well, it's
Some
self-released.
duets.
It's
Yeah.
bad business, this one.
Unless it's like ends up being like a Master P thing where you like own your own, you know what I mean, and it becomes massive.
True.
And you're like, I own it.
Well, then we'll have to re-rank.
Yeah.
This is in flux. Innovation. Yeah, it's not really in my genre.
It's not
really-
our genre.
No, it's not our genre.
But like who else is making these records? You know.
Yeah, I do think when I hear like the strings and
Yeah.
it's kind of like taking it sort of a little bit further than some stuff that I hear.
Mm-hmm.
But it's innovative within my own stuff, I guess. But still, it's like a 3 or 4.
Bump it to a 5.
Okay. Endurance. So we don't know.
We
So I
can't-
think
it's- we
these
can't
2 are
answer.
5,
Yeah,
5
we
and
c- you can't
5.
answer those. I don't even need to know the final score. We
Okay.
just know now where the work needs to be done.
Yeah.
And I'm going to
Yeah.
say right now, it's not in songwriting. So, like, as an old friend of mine said to me once, is like, you already can do the hard bit. The rest
Mm-hmm.
of it's just nerd shit.
Yeah, and I feel like that's what we talked about mostly today, which was
Yeah.
nice.
Hit the gym,
Yeah.
start lux maxing, get on
And
the
business-
gram, live Twitch stream 24 hours a day like Bieber.
Like live Twitch your looks maxing process
Yeah, exactly. And then just play your songs in the background.
in the background.
Yeah, it's fine.
I mean, you know what's sad is that probably is it. Like that's all you have to
No,
do.
it's not it. It isn't. It really isn't.
I know.
There's plenty of real ones out there doing real stuff. And
Yeah. Well, I can't wait to do this.
And you're
when your
one of
record
them, Johnny.
drops.
Oh,
I'm gonna do more. I'll do more of a Letterman though. kinda.
Well, mine's very.
Hey,
kind
what
of,
the hell?
What's going on here?
So what, were you in there doing the old record in there, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
That kinda thing. Yeah.
I'll be Joaquin.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you hit it her first, guys. That was Johnny Payne discussing his new record, Dazzle Me, and we'll be back on Sunday to do something equally as exciting.
And if you'd like to listen to the record, it's out everywhere, and
Buy
there
it.
are LPs you can order too.
I mean, it's nice to own a record. I just fixed my record player. It was broken for a day, and I blew some compressed air into it, and it fixed it. So I'm going to go listen to Dazzle Me right now.
I wanted to say though, you made a really good point yesterday. Just the last thing I want to say is that because not a ton of people have ordered one online, and you made a really good point that you said our community, like a lot of people, probably don't buy a lot of records online.
When did you last buy one?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a while for sure. So it makes me fully aware that I need to get out and play some shows.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't know when that will be. So if you do want one, consider ordering one.
Considered.
Consider
Like the
it.
Manassas record. Consider.
Consider.
Exactly.
We should do another Manassas episode. That'd be cool.
100%. You don't have to
Yeah.
tell. You don't have to me twice.
Okay, man.
Okay.
Thanks a lot for this, James.
My pleasure. Peace.
Yeah.